Babblefish 5 here. It's been a couple of years, and well, let's just say they've been an eventful couple of years. After some surgery and a lot of whittling done on me, I'm not glowing in the dark anymore, so I'm a bit healthier now and decided I might as well get out on the trail and do another episode of The Hungry Hammock Hanger. Over the last couple of years, I've had a lot of questions about what I use for bread on the trail. And I have a recipe for a Scottish bannock that I particularly like to use. So today, we're going to go over what I use for bread, and that is a Scottish oat bannock. Before we get into the recipe, I'd like to talk briefly about the future of Hungry Hammock Hanger. I've had to have a lot of stuff done, as you can tell. There's a lot less of me than there used to be. I'm kind of forced to be on what's called a modified paleo diet. Now, for all you paleo fiends out there, it's not 100% paleo, so, if you don't see something in the recipes that aren't 100% paleo, just kind of move on and do the appropriate substitutions. That being said, I had to think long and hard about how I was going to handle Hungry Hammock Hanger, or even if I was going to continue doing Hungry Hammock Hanger. So what I've decided to do is, I'm still going to do Hungry Hammock Hanger, but I'm going to be using recipes that I can eat on the trail now. That being said, I understand that not everybody is going to be paleo or eat the way that I have to eat now. So what I'm going to do is when I make substitutions, those are going to be in the recipes. But I will also let you know what you can substitute in the recipes for it. A lot of stuff I just can't eat anymore. Things like pasta, rice, and potatoes are things that are just kind of off limits for me. They make me very ill. So I don't do those anymore. So I'll let you know where you can make the substitutions are on the recipes and what they are and things you can do to get those into the meals or work those into the meals as you see fit. A lot of the meals I do, they are, very flexible. You don't have to stick exactly with what's in there. Make the modifications that you see fit to make. So that's how we're going to continue on with Hungry Hammock Hanger. I'm going to try to get an episode out once every month, maybe month and a half on it. So stick with me. Hungry Hammock Hanger's back, better than ever. The recipe for this bannock is really simple. It's 1.5 cups of wheat flour, 1.5 cups of oat flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, and about 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of sugar, and a generous pinch of salt. Put those up in a Ziploc bag. Shake like crazy. Okay, money-saving tip here. Before you go out and spend money on oat flour, take whatever oats you have you use for breakfast in the morning, put those in a blender or a food processor and process them until they have the consistency of cornmeal. And that's what I do. That's going to save you some money, and you're not going to have this oat flour sitting around that you use once every couple of years. So, money-saving tip. So there's how I mix this up. You can make it sticky or a little bit dry like I make it. Both those work just fine. As far as cooking goes, there are plenty of videos out there on how to cook bannock, and this is no different. You can use any of those techniques. I really don't see any reason to kind of go over how I do that or how other people cook that, but I am going to show you how I like to cook it, and that is to kind of fry it up a little bit. This method gives this a little of a pancakey type texture to it, and can allow you to do a few things with it that, well, make this extra special. Okay, the pros of this recipe is that it lasts a long time and it's lightweight and easily fits into anybody's backpack. Bear in mind that if you want to do some other cooking method other than frying it, you're going to knead this dough a little bit to let some gluten forms for it to firm up. You'll notice when I cooked it, it all kind of came apart. That's kind of how I like it to be. It gives it more of a pancakey texture, and put thin enough, it's almost kind of like a cracker, and that's a little bit easier for me to eat. So I really enjoy that. I put maple syrup over it. Honey works just as well, or just kind of on its own. The con to this fry method is that you're going to have to carry a little extra weight in some sort of frying oil. You need some sort of medium. I find that butter-flavored Crisco works really well because that you can have sealed up and that lasts a good long time on the trail without going bad. Lard works just as well. Something like vegetable oil, a non-flavored vegetable oil, canola oil or something like that works just fine as well. There is a trade-off though on weight. I usually make up for that by using a wood-burning, like a wood gasifying stove, and that kind of offsets some of the extra weight for the fry. However, I don't fry that all the time on the trail. That's probably something I use on maybe once or twice. If I'm on a week trip, I'm only probably going to fry it up maybe twice. So, I hope you like the recipe. Now, the recipe that I've given is a basic recipe. You can cook that, and it's great for any kind of meal that you have that has kind of a gravy to it. That's a great sop for gravy. Fantastic. But this also allows you to make some modifications to it that are, well, frankly, turn this into a thing of beauty and a joy to behold. What I did in this particular recipe that you just saw me cook was add a tablespoon of peanut butter powder to it. This gives it, well, makes it taste like peanut butter. Other additions that I like to add are banana powder. This, with a little banana powder, is a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Also, the next thing that's great for the fall that I really love to do is to add about a tablespoon of pumpkin powder and a little bit of nutmeg into what you just saw me mix up. That makes basically kind of a pumpkin bread. And that is really great, especially when you put something like maple syrup over it. Beautiful. So, there you have it. My Scottish bannock, and I use that on the trail, and I use that quite frequently. The mix itself, mixed up, lasts in a freezer for 2 or 3 years. Unfrozen in a Ziploc bag can last you, well, about a year. So, give it a try. I think you'll like it. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of The Hungry Hammock Hanger.